Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mercy, and if you're here for the first time, just this is me talking about stuff that I'm learning. Older woman giving some unsolicited advice to anybody. I found myself yet again on a very weird side of TikTok. I don't know how I'm finding myself on these weird sides of TikTok because honestly, it's beginning to worry me because it just shows that I'm definitely looking at the wrong things. But I'm glad I'm learning about this other what other people think. But anyway, this is a very weird side that I found myself, and it was the side which actually was talking about um natural hair. Once upon a time, and I did a video about this, where it was about natural hair. There was a someone on LinkedIn had posted that natural hair is professional and stuff like that. And yeah, there's all this conversation. For those who have no idea where this rant is going, there is this belief that African natural hair, black people's natural hair is unprofessional. So for quite a long time, like I remember growing up, I used to know that people who work in offices have relaxed hair, and people who don't have their hair we not relaxed. And I also used to know that like younger people braid their hair, but older people just relax their hair and style them. And I totally loved the waves and stuff like that. I really wanted to grow up and get that done to my hair. I had my hair relaxed when I was joining high school, actually. And that was because I went to a boarding school, and it was going to be easier to manage because I have, as you can see, I have white, thick hair. So my I think this was in the 90s, so it's not like the natural hair movement was there that much. So there were no it was very hard to know how to take care of hair, and basically that was it. And I was so excited when that happened. So I relaxed my hair. Was horrible because the relaxer never took. It didn't matter what they did, it was just not staying long enough, and it was just crazy. I used to look at some people's hair and just wonder, oh my God, what did you people do to have this good hair? There was that mentality of good hair. And when I came to Europe, I spent a lot of time with weaves, and I don't do wigs. I do have them for emergencies, but they itch. It doesn't, well, maybe also because I've never just bought an expensive one, but they itch me, and I'm always worried that it's going to fall. And yeah, so I just don't, I'm not a fan of wigs. But weaves, on the other hand, I used to do that all the time. So I was doing mostly weaves and cornrows, and that was my main go to styles. And it worked for me for very many years. And then when I had my daughter, I made a conscious decision that I was never going to relax her hair. She was going to do it when she's older if she wants, but I was not going to relax her hair. So when she came out with hair as thick as mine, actually worse than mine, her hair is so much better than mine. Like she has so much more volume than I have. And it's just the most amazing hair, especially after we had locks, because I'm always saying how jealous I am by the fact that her hair, it just locked so fast and just looks really, really good it just looks really amazing. Anyway, so I decided that yeah, I was not going to relax my hair anymore, and I had to cut my hair anyway when I was pregnant with her because it was falling off. So when it grew, I just kept it natural, and I just made sure that I continued braiding and cornrows and weaves the entire time just so that I could maintain it. And then eventually, a few years ago, I decided after I had my son, we decided to lock our hairs, and now we have sister locks, and we are enjoying the journey. And it's, yeah, love hate relationship. Now my main problem is the color. I keep wanting to make this hair red. Anyway, not because of anything. I just feel like I need something. I'm tempted to have it those blue, purple, green, but then I'm too old for that. So anyway, so there was this whole conversation. That backstory was just to tell you where this conversation was coming from. So there's a whole generation of women who are currently in the corporate environment who grew up with this kind of mentality, because I'm 42 as of the recording of this video. And that is the mentality that I had. I knew that professional hair was flat and straight. And, that's just how we were conditioned back then. So then you grow up, and when I was putting my locks, I was actually working. At that time, I was working for an NGO, and quite a few people were like, "But yeah, but what if you decide?" Because I had always made it clear that at some point I wanted to transition out, and everybody was like, "Yeah, but what happens when you go for interviews? What will you do?" And I'm like, "I will just go for interviews." And I had so many people tell me to get a wig for the interviews. And I did get a wig, but I did not put it on for any interview because my biggest worry, and when I was doing my interviews, my hair was shorter than this, so I couldn't even tie it. And I was worried that if I wear the wig, then I'll have to wear it for the job. And there was no way I was going to go to work every single day with a wig. That was just not something that I was planning to do. It was just no, no. Anyway, so this conversation on LinkedIn was about just, let's just admit that our hair that grows out of our scalp, the way it grows out of our scalp, it is professional. Because if I'm professional, then my hair comes with me. I don't, it doesn't mean anything. There were times when we used to think locks are for junkies and dirty people and stuff like that. I wash my hair now more when I have the locks than when I have those straight weaves. And it's just so different. Anyway, so the reason why this conversation came up on that crazy side of TikTok was because there were these three panelists who had very interesting looking wigs. And I do not mean to shame them as women. I don't stand for shaming women, but because they were insisting on just how much better the weaves are than natural hair, that's where the shade comes from. So the backstory is it's apparently a podcast which talks about just femininity and things like that. And so one of the hosts says that, yeah, so what do you think about the natural hair movement and what people have, natural hair versus wigs? And she goes like, listen, natural hair is, I feel like I've had this thing so much that I can actually quote it, but I think I'm still paraphrasing a bit. Say, natural hair is good for picking your kids up from school. It's good for your church program. It is good for going to the market, but do not bring your natural hair to my event. And I was like, okay, I need context. So I went and tried to find the full video, and I did. And I listened to quite a bit of it. Well, first I fast forwarded, and then I got to there, and then I listened, and then, I was like, no, I can't listen to this. Because I was getting so angry. I think every time she tried to justify it, she was even making it worse, because then she says that you can't wear something beautiful. I wear an expensive dress, I wear expensive shoes, and then I come there with my natural hair. I'm like, woman, your natural hair is your natural hair. I think what people don't realize is your natural hair is actually how your hair comes out of your head, And nowadays we have so many options. I mean, I as a side hustle, I sell Trisha Naturals, and they have very good hair products. And I can tell you, I mean, I am not just saying this because I sell stuff for them, but there are so many different varieties of hair products. And guess what? Even just plain water with some shea butter, because I mean, we all have something we're putting in our bodies. Nobody just had walked around with dry skin, right? There's something we're putting in our bodies. There's people who just put water and glycerin and they spray it on their hair. People who just put rice water, spray it on their hair, and they have amazing hair. Like it works so well for them. I have no idea. There's really no justification for hating your hair that much. I know, yes, there are people who sometimes you look at their hair and you're like, okay, you really need to do something with your hair. But that's how they like it. And I might look at your hair and not like it, but then there are also some people of other races that I look at their hair and I'm like, really? Seriously? That's the best you could do? But that's me judging you. When it reaches a place where you're judging yourself so badly that you don't even think the thing that is you, the thing that makes you you is worth it, then you need to sit down, go to a mirror, and have a conversation, a real conversation with yourself. Because honestly, that's just not on. We need to get past that. We have so much information now. Like, there's a level of ignorance that should not be allowed anymore. And I remember in my previous video, and I think even in that LinkedIn post when I commented that when I did lock my hair and when I finally got a job in the area that I wanted, most of the worry was actually coming from fellow Africans. And I don't think, okay, when they were saying it, like one of them, I took it really badly. And then when the second one said it, I was like, why am I taking it badly? These are people who actually love me. Because, if it was coming from people who, it was coming from random people that I don't know, I would have taken it rudely. Whatever. But this was actually coming from people who love me, people who I know are my friends. I know that these are people who actually want something good for me. So when they came and told me that, yeah, but aren't you worried? I was like, worried about what? They were like, yeah, just, I'm not worried that they will look at you a certain way because of your hair and stuff like that. And back then, I mean, if you see my older videos, my hair, I had actually dyed it. So that's a whole other story, because what happened was I wanted to dye it red. I went, put the peroxide in the wrong places. Turns out even the red I had bought was not even a red. It was some brown. And that brownish thingy, then it just, so my hair, I mean, if you see my older videos, you know what kind of a messy thing I had. So this is just box black. And then there's the grays that are coming out. So I have to, pretend and act my age and stuff like that. Anyway, so what really bothered me with this, so the reactions to that video made me have faith in humanity, because there are quite a lot of people who are like, no, sis, you need prayers. You cannot walk around thinking like this. There's something missing in you if you feel like you are not good enough. It was just, there were just so many people who were like, no, we are not, we are not there. We are not doing this anymore. We are not going there. And I kind of liked that, because it to me it felt like finally we've come full circle. We've really, really come full circle, and here we are. People actually are starting to appreciate how they look. Now, I'm not the type who would say that everybody needs to stop relaxing their hair. Everybody needs to stop weaving their hair. Everybody needs to get rid of their wigs, because the other trend is the hard wig, soft life trend, which I'm going to do a whole video about that. Anyway, so I'm not the type who's going to say let's shift, and stop this, because let people live. And I'm also not going to be the one to start saying, because I really don't think this is true. I just think some people just like the wigs because it just makes them feel different. And If it makes you feel more confident, if it makes you feel, it doesn't matter who you're imitating. It does not, it really doesn't matter if you're if a blonde wig makes you able to feel like you are worth it and you are strong and you're able to do your job and you're able to just survive. Life is already so hard that anything that makes you feel like you, if that's what you need for you to be able to succeed, then go ahead and do it. But on the other side, do not start discouraging the ones who are comfortable in, yes, that's what I was looking for, comfortable in their original skin. And it's the same way. I go to work in makeup, full makeup. Not too much because I don't do eyeshadow, I don't do mascara. There, I mean, not well. So I do foundation, I contour, I do. So I basically do a little bit, lipstick. Definitely always have lipstick. I always have lipstick, preferably red. But anyway, so I do that. But I'm not going to go and tell somebody who feels like she's okay with just showing up at work without makeup and tell her that there's something wrong with her, because for me, it works. For her, it works. For me, that's what I need for me to feel like I can face the world. I have no idea why. I don't know if it's right or wrong. If my mind changes, then my mind is going to change. But for now, that's what I need. And that's what I do. Life is really too hard for us to keep fighting over small things. So anyway, that's it for today. And I hope that this video actually made you think about a few things, because honestly, this hair conversation, it's not something that's going to end today or tomorrow. I don't think it's something that should end. I don't think it should even be one conversation. I don't even think it should be, I think it should be many conversations. And I think it should be conversations that evolve, Every time you learn something new, you add it up to what you already know and see what you can add and what you can, to add value to whatever it is you already know. So thank you so much for listening, and have a nice, lovely day, and hope that your 2024 is going to bring you some good stuff. Bye.